All right, guys, welcome into the AfterSchrock. Not a ton of time today, but enough that we can go through some things that we didn't have time to squeeze in on the program. The big one here is, again, those of you watching the AfterSchrock, you're some of my absolutely most loyal fans. I really appreciate you, the fact that you guys come in every week, that you listen to the program. I hope it was entertaining today. It was a rough show today because there wasn't a whole lot in the news going on. There wasn't a whole lot of calls, so the whole time I felt kind of like I wasn't delivering a great show today. And if that came through, I apologize for that. It just didn't feel like it was I didn't have anything to work with, really. I mean, it was like, stop doing stupid stuff with your smartphone, like taking it in the ocean. That was all I had. How much memory is enough memory? Well, if you get too much, the benefits diminish. So it was kind of like, wow, these are like basic level things. So I thought, one thing I can spend some time on today is launching the Best of Omaha thing for Schrock. Now, we love to win the Best of Omaha. Number one, there's a great trade show that we go to where we give away all kinds of free stuff, and we have a great time talking to everybody when we go there. It's a reflection on the work we've done in the past year, basically, that we've done good for people, so they vote for us, which is great. So I went ahead and we waited a week after it launched because last year there were issues with voting in the beginning. This year, the whole world has changed. So the whole system that they used in Best of Omaha hasn't been redesigned in years. And that system relies on sending an email to you where you click on a link, and then you are able to send to go vote based on that link. So here's the question. I don't know how many of you have done it or if you've tried to, but this is the link to go vote in the Best of Omaha. If you've already done it, please let me know that it worked for you, if it worked. If it didn't work for you, let me know that it didn't work. Because throughout the end of the program, I was just getting comment after comment from people who had gone and filled out the form, and they've waited 10 minutes and they're not receiving the email with the link so they can go vote. Now, here's the thing. The reason I brought up that their system hasn't been redesigned in some time is I haven't received I took the moment to vote for myself really quick. Let's see. Oh, and so this person here voted last week. Barb did, and she voted for us. She says, Barb says, I voted for your company last Friday. Didn't expect to have a monetary thank you, but thank you for offering. I'd love a new computer. Love your company and the Omaha team. Barbara. Well, that's awesome. So Barbara sent me her proof of voting certificate, which is right here, I believe. I'm opening it up. I haven't actually seen what a proof of voting certificate looks like because I can't get my link to vote for myself. So here's a proof of voting certificate for Barbara. And it has her email on it. There we go. Very nice. So that's what they look like. So I'm going to create myself a new folder. We're going to say new folder, and we're going to say Best of Omaha proof. There we go. Boo proof. That's what we're going to call it. And then we're going to move it into boo proof. All right. So basically we've got Best of Omaha voting there. That's good. So Barb was able to do it a few days ago, but several people have voted or have said that they have not been able to vote. So yeah, you're not getting an email to vote. That Schrock Innovations is quote TH. I'm not sure what you mean, Don. So anyway, if anyone has been able to successfully vote, let me know. The thing is, their system relies on sending email. And so back in my day, when you send an email, the person actually got it. There are so many marketing and so many promotional emails flying out there right now that, first of all, if you're using Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, any major email platform service, they're gonna splinter these off. So they're gonna end up in your spam filter. They're gonna end up in Gmail in your promotions folder. And so I received an email from the Best of Omaha people Thursday or Friday saying they've gotten reports of people not receiving the links. And here I am getting reports of people not receiving the links. And of course, it was the standard reply. We've checked on our end. We see the emails are going out. Tell your stupid people to check their spam folder. They didn't say stupid people, but that was basically what it was. It's got to be user error. They're not checking the spam filter. However, you guys listen to the Schrock Innovation Show every week. You guys are AfterSchrock followers. You get into the AfterSchrock and you're telling me you don't have an email. And I'm telling you, okay, double check your spam folder, double check your promotions folder. If you don't have an email, let me know. Then you're saying, don't have an email. You're not stupid people. You don't have an email. So the thing is, what they don't realize is that when you send an email, when you're a company, right? And this is part of the stuff that we do for customers all the time. Customers will say, I want to send an email. And they don't realize that if you send an email as a company and that email goes out, if that email is the same subject line, like, for example, certificate of voting, and you're sending out thousands and thousands and thousands of them with very little content and a couple images attached to it, everything about your email is spam. Everything. The fact that you have an image with no text, spam. The fact that you have links in your email, spam. The fact that you are sending the email probably not through a major email platform. So in other words, you have a web server that's just generating the email and sending it through an open relay, which is the old way of doing it. It's the free way of doing it. It costs nothing. The problem is 75% of your email is never going to get seen by anybody because it's not getting filtered off by the user's spam folder. It's getting filtered off at the internet service provider level. AOL is filtering it out. Gmail is not filtering it to spam. They're just not delivering it at all. And that's to get that through people's heads. You're like, as a business owner, you're like, no, I totally understand that you're saying the email was sent on your end. That is, you are correct. The email has been sent. My customer is also correct that they're not receiving the email on their end. So, not receiving it at all, not in the spam folder, not in the inbox, they're not receiving it. So somewhere in the middle, you can both be right if the internet service provider is killing the email and not even giving it to you because it is so obviously spam that they don't even want to bother messing with you. So that's what's going on. So my guess is that's what's going on. So how do we deal with that at Schrock? We send out a lot of promotional email at Schrock. How do we make sure that our emails get delivered? We keep it to one link in the email. We attach an image to the email, which you need to do these days, but we also attach some text. We avoid certain keyword phrases like save up to or a $sign. And we try to keep the prices as to a minimum. Sometimes you have to do that, but all those things there's a spam score. And those things tick up your spam score to a point eventually where, okay, this is probably going to go to the promotions folder, which is where a lot of our stuff ends up, because rightfully so, it's a promotion, okay? But then over and above that, you can get to the redonkulous level where all of a sudden, this is so obviously spam that this is probably like Nigerian prince spam. We don't even need to put this in your spam folder. We're not even going to waste your time with it. And I think that's what's happening here. Let me scroll down and see if you guys have had any other luck here. Still can't get it. Good morning. Carolyn, did you get your email? Did you try to vote yet and get an email? Hey, Ray, Denver. All right. I was up in the mountains in Colorado a couple weeks ago. Man, you guys are high up. I was winded walking up every hill I walked up there. Best of Omaha. Yeah, Best of Omaha is easy. Best service ever. Sorry for the bad typing. Oh, 2000. No problem, Don. Thank you. Eileen has not been able to go vote. Got no email in regular or spam. Okay, so anybody who has not received their email yet, please put a comment in here telling me not your whole email address, but what your email service is, whether it's Gmail, whether it's Cox, whether, whoever your internet provider, wherever you're getting your email through. Just let me know who that is so that I can go back to them and say people on Gmail aren't getting it, or people on Hotmail aren't getting it, or people on AOL aren't getting it. Now, anything I can do to give them more information. As a company that does coding, it's incredibly frustrated when a customer comes to us and says, my email doesn't work. What doesn't work? My email. What do you mean your email doesn't work? Okay, thanks. So the more information we can give, the better. All right, so Helen, thanks for your backup method and those emails. We'll be busy reading. Okay. Where are the emojis? None in email, I guess. Sure, Helen just sent me an email saying there's no emojis in email. There are, you just have to know the keyboard commands to type them. You got to type them old school style, and then some email clients will. So like for a smiley face, for example, is a colon, a dash, and a closed parenthesis, and you get a smiley face. Yay! So anyway, that's how you do it, Helen. All right, so yeah, Helen says that Best of Omaha is not working for her either. Okay. Started over completely, still no link and no spam. I will keep trying. Okay. Jetta, you purchased a computer on March 31st and you haven't received it? Okay, so the surge protectors, CDW ships us the surge protectors, and those are actually on back order. They're supposed to ship on Monday, but a computer from March 31st should have definitely been delivered by now, like many, 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 many times over. So bear with me just a second. I'm going to log in here and see if maybe somebody forgot to add a work order that you ordered a computer, because I don't understand how you don't get a computer when you purchased one. All right, Lincoln location. Okay, good. Let's see here. All right. There you go. I found you. And we're pulling you up here. And I see that you purchased a Galant computer that was there. You purchased a Galant computer on 5/24 of 19. That Galant computer is in Lincoln. It is available for pickup, but I do not see that the work order is closed, which means that the computer is not picked up. It's sitting on the shelf, because we can't close the work order and enter your warranty information until we know when you pick up the computer. As a result, we have a really weird phone number for you. It starts with a 260 area code. We also do not have an email address. So the only information we have to contact you is a phone number that starts in 260 and ends in 1441. So we opened, the Lincoln Service Center opens today at noon. If you want to give them a call and let them know that hey, they have your computer, it's there. What it looks like to me is we might have a bum email or a bum phone number, and we have no email. So we have no other way to contact you other than the phone number. But yeah, the computer has been there and available for pickup for 2 months, over 2 months. So it's there. It's a Galant. It's a nice computer. You're going to love it. But it's there and ready for pickup for you. All right. Helen just emailed. Best of Lincoln, or Best of Omaha voting not working. All right. Let's see. Not received the reply. Kevin hasn't received the reply. I tried with 2 different email addresses. Still no email to vote. Second email. Carolyn wants the address again. Here is the address to go vote. Although people are having trouble with the email right now, Carolyn. Gmail and Cox, they both use the same filtering system. Okay. Services Gmail and Yahoo, they use the same filtering system. Cox, AOL, not getting it, Cox, yeah. Oh, Carolyn found it. Oh, she found the link, probably not the email. That is the correct number. Okay, that's weird. All right, so yeah, we're trying to call that number, Jutta, and it's, I don't, they're supposed to call it every 2 days, but if they're not able to get a hold of you for some reason, let's just, when you get, it's there, it's done, it's ready for pickup. It's been there for a while. I really apologize that we have not been able to get a hold of you for some reason. But when you call in, if you would just double check the full phone number with them to make sure I didn't want to give your whole phone number on the AfterSchrock. The guys will start calling you. They'll start getting hit on. It'll be crazy. So just confirm with Lincoln that they have the correct phone number for you. Make sure you give them an email address so that we have an alternate contact method in the future if we ever need it. And then yeah, it's there and it's ready for pickup. I'm really sorry for the confusion on that. All right. You have a Samsung phone. She has a phone card. 99% of the photos are gone on the card, but now the photos go to internal and not to the card. A gal at Westroads Boost Store, my carrier told me how to transfer the internal photo album that has photos on it to the card. But what she and others I have asked is, why is this happening and how to correct the issue? Okay, so first of all, if you have a data device, like a memory card, for example, and something disappears from the card, don't ever format the card or save anything new to the card. So don't try to set it up as the new storage for your photos again, because if you do that, you're going to overwrite those photos that we could right now recover. So we can recover the photos in almost every case from those external cards. Somebody switched you to internal storage, and you can go into the camera settings and you can switch the camera settings to save it in the SD card storage. I don't want you to do that right now, though, because if you do that right now, then you're going to overwrite the information that's on that card and we won't be able to recover it for you. So it's the same situation as a gentleman, his name was Jack, who called into the radio show and had a question about his memory card. And we're recovering stuff from it. It's something that's, if there's nothing wrong with the card, we don't need to do that in the data recovery lab. We can do that in the regular service center and save you a boatload of money there. All right, so guys, everybody who tried to do Best of Omaha, I appreciate Yeah. Yeah, Jetta, I'm really sorry. I don't understand why that no one, the only other thing I can think of is, I have your phone number typed here in our system, and then they write down the phone number on the work order. Maybe maybe they're stupid and they're just calling 402, 443, whatever. Maybe they're, yeah, I don't know why they're not calling you. But after so many months, they're supposed to call on stuff that doesn't get picked up. We're supposed to call every 2 days to get it to come, because we want you to come pick up your stuff. And then after 90 days, if they still have a computer that's not picked up, they're supposed to send it back to the Papillion Service Center to be pulled back into the fold. Because what ends up happening is we have one gentleman in the Omaha Service Center who bought a computer from us 5 years ago. He has yet to pick up this computer. And so we have the computer in the service center, and then something happens. He goes to the hospital, something goes wrong, whatever. After 6 months or so, or a year, we come out with a new design computer. And the next year after that, we come out with a new design computer. And eventually the one that he bought like 2 years ago is looking pretty old. He hasn't picked it up. So we send it back to Papillion. They basically part it down, you use the parts for repair, whatever they're going to do, and we build him a new one that's current tech, because we want him, when he takes the computer home, to have a good experience. And if you buy a computer, leave it in a box for 5 years, and then take it home and turn it on the first time, you're going to wonder, why isn't it working really well? Because it was designed 5 years ago for stuff that was 5 years ago. You need a newer computer than that. So we rebuilt this computer several times. So we don't want you to end up leaving it for 5 years. And I know you want your computer. Like I said, I'm not sure. All the hard work is done. All we have to do is have you come in, pick it up, sign whether you want the Schrock desk or not, and then we set up the warranty information for you. Yeah, you've got the i5 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, solid state's installed, Windows 10's ready to go. The only thing that I don't see on here is that you picked it up, which obviously we're supposed to call you. You're saying we didn't call you, and I believe you. One thing that I will say, though, I know you're excited to come pick it up because you've been waiting a long time for it, but since you bought the computer, they released that Windows 1903 update, and when we send computers out, we like them to be fully upgraded. So when you do call the Lincoln Service Center, just ask them, hey, I know this is a brand new computer. Thor said you guys would make sure that 1903 is installed. Can you do that for me? Because if it truly has been sitting on the shelf for over 2 months, it's going to need some updates, and I want to make sure it gets updated so that when you take it home, it's not doing updates the first time you take it out of the box. That you can have a good experience with it out of the box. And it'll probably take us an hour or two to do that update for you, and then you can come pick it up. So just make sure when you call, let them know that you want them to do those updates for you, and that I told them that absolutely we're going to do those updates for you. No email for Carolyn. All right, no problem. I'll call them. Appreciate it. All right, sorry again, John. All right, so obviously the Best of Omaha is not working entirely well. So I sent them an email, and I'm sure that they have their people. I'm sure that they have their own tech staff that does this work. I'm sure that somebody's doing this for them. But it might be time to maybe add like an SMS, like can I text you a code to confirm your identity rather than an email? I know not everybody uses SMS, but in this situation, how many of us have smartphones where we would say, well, if I can't get the email, at least let's do it over a smartphone so I can vote and be done with it? Because here we spent a lot of time today, and time on the radio is money. We pay for some of this for this time that we get. So we spent a lot of time today pushing, hey, go vote for us, and no one is able to vote for us. For very few people. I haven't had one successful person here say they're going to vote for it, that they've been able to vote for us yet. Blah, 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 blah. Let me see. So, yep, and Helen's having the same problem. So, yeah, Barb was able to vote for us a week ago when this first launched, when the Best of Omaha first launched. She was able to go vote. So what that tells me in my problem solver brain is we initially opened up voting, and people voted, and people got emails, and everything was working good, and then suddenly it stopped. The first week, every company was pushing really hard to get people to go vote the first week. Now, if you already voted in the Best of Omaha, you can log back in. You created an account, basically. You can go log back in, and you can add to your vote. You can add Schrock Innovations to your vote. So you can do that, too. But a lot of people went and did it, which generated a lot of emails of voting confirmation certificates and things like that. So then those emails went out, confirmation, email links, like here's your link to go validate your account. All those emails all went out. They're all from the domain. Let me double check. I don't see the domain here, but I'm guessing it is going to be bestofomahavoting.com. So my guess is that domain is now listed as a spam provider, which it just occurs to me I can check that. So let's take a look here. Let's see, we're going to check for check spam blacklist. And we're going to go email blacklist, see if your server is blacklisted, server or domain. So let's try omahamagazine.com. And we're going to check the blacklist. And Omaha Magazine is not blacklisted anywhere. So that's good. And so now let's try bestofomaha.com. It's good if I put that in there. Bestofomaha.com is not currently blacklisted anywhere. And I think they're using Best of Omaha Voting as well. I don't have an email. I don't have an email to look at. bestofomahavoting.com. Okay, which resolves nothing. They're not on any email blacklist that I can see. So they're not on a blacklist unless they're sending those emails from a different domain that I just don't know, because I don't actually have an email to look at. Because let me see here. Let me click. I'm going to click here to start voting, and voting is simple. So my first name is Thor, and my email address is tschrockinnovations.com. My email address confirmed is tschrock@schrockinnovations.com, and I click continue. Okay. And so now I should have an email coming my way. This is super exciting radio, isn't it, guys? All right, so now I'm going to check my email, and it's synchronizing my inbox. My inbox is synchronized, and I do not have a email from Best of Omaha. I scroll all the way up to my spam folder. I have nothing there. I'm going to delete all my spam, because that's a great way for me to make sure that everything is fresh and clean. We're going to empty that. All right. We have no spam now. All spam is gone. And we're going to check our email here again and see if we have a Best of Omaha link. Because if I'm not getting it, you're not getting it. Yeah, it's getting scraped off to spam. So anyway, while we're waiting for this incredibly exciting email to synchronize, any questions for the AfterSchrock today? Anything that we didn't cover in the show that maybe you'd like us to cover? GoVoteEmail.com. All right, thank you, lovely Kimberly. Let me check that one. All right, GoVoteEmail.com. And that is not on a blacklist. So everything should be getting delivered from those emails, from all of them. So yep, that should be good. Okay. Best of Omaha at GoVoteMail.com, not email. Try that again. Yep. GoVoteMail.com. And GoVoteMail.com is not on any blacklist. Everything looks good. So yeah, don't know why they're not sending email, but I don't have mine either. Let me double check on my phone just to make sure it's not a problem with my email client here. So yeah, we're troubleshooting everything, right? And I get all of Helen's emails saying that she can't vote. So I know I'm getting email. See, this is problem solving. I am receiving email. My clients are all working, but I'm not getting the Go Vote email. So I sent them an email and I said, listen, I understand you guys have relationships. I'm not trying to walk on those relationships. I'm just telling you from a tech support perspective, this is like tier 2 support. This is not a stupid human problem. This is not a wetware problem. You have a software issue. Something is not working. And they should see this on their end by now. They should see that the number of votes coming in is low, that they're not getting votes. And if they should see that. Now, it's a long holiday weekend, right? So my guess is they sent this before the long holiday weekend. They're like, it's a long holiday weekend. They're going to come back and they're going to be like, oh boy, something's not working. This is bad. And then my email is going to show up like, oh. So if you need us to take a look at anything for you, we'd be happy to do so. One of the things that we did to make sure that our email gets delivered to you is we actually started sending it through Amazon's email service. Amazon is so big that Amazon can go to AOL and say, listen, we're going to send email to your AOL users. And we want some of these emails to be promotional emails. We promise you that we will police the people sending email through our system so that when it hits your system, it is not junk, right? So when we send email through Amazon, we have to maintain a bounce rate of less than 10%, which means, if we send 24,000 emails, if 2,400 addresses are bad, they bounce to us, right? They bounce back as a bad address. We have to remove those from our list so that we don't email them again. And that we have to police our list. We have to make sure everything is clean. People on AOL, especially, there's that spam button that people just click. Rather than unsubscribing, they just click the spam button. Well, every time somebody clicks that stupid spam button, that's a knock against you. So you got to be careful how many of those are getting clicked. So you got to make sure your unsubscribe link is, like, if you don't want to see this email, unsubscribe. Don't click the spam button, for heaven's sake. Just unsubscribe and we'll stop sending you mail, right? So basically what Amazon does is when somebody clicks that mail spam button, rather than unsubscribing, AOL marks that as a bounce, and then they alert Amazon that this email was labeled as spam by the user. And therefore, we know the user saw the message. We know the user called it spam, which means they don't want to see it anymore. We can make a substantial, reasonable judgment that that person wants to unsubscribe. They didn't intend to say that email was unsolicited junk from someone they didn't know. They meant to unsubscribe. So then we mark them as unsubscribed in our mess. We don't want to contact people who don't want to hear from us. And that reduces our bounce rate and keeps all of our emails going well. So if this email system, for whatever reason, isn't working right, we would suggest they use something like Amazon to send those emails, because of Amazon's relationship with Cox and Yahoo and Gmail and everybody else. You'll be able to, in most cases, avoid the promotional folder. You'll be able, in most cases, to avoid the spam folder. So you increase your deliverability, which is what we're looking for, right? But also, you have some credibility when it hits the inbox. So you're not going to get, I think they're getting filtered at the ISP level. They're sending email that is so obviously spam, the ISP is just knocking it down. So anyway, exciting stuff. Maybe so many Schrock fans are voting broke their internet. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? Something stinks in Denmark with Best of Omaha the last couple of years. Last year we didn't win. We didn't win the year before that either. And so it was kind of like a wow, is something going on with our level of service? Are we upsetting our customers? What's going on? The last couple of years I really didn't make a big deal about voting on the radio because we pay for our radio time. I don't want to spend half of the radio show telling you to go vote for us, begging you to go vote for us. But here I do it this time because we haven't won in a couple of years, and it's one of those things where smaller competitors of ours are winning, and it's a social media game, guys. It's basically getting your friends and your family and everybody else to go out and vote for you to make sure that you get the most votes possible to win. When you think about it that way, though, we have 2,500 plus Facebook followers. We have radio shows. We have 3 locations. I mean, we should be able to generate quite a few votes if we try. That's the thing. Last year, I didn't really try. I just said, okay, let's do it. Let's go. So this year, I actually put some effort into it and said, let's do it. And then their system is broken. That's life, I guess. I still haven't received my link, guys, so don't feel bad. Yeah, I don't have my link. So I sent them an email offering help. We'll see if I hear back. But anyway, any last call for questions. I'm going to get rolling here. This has been, like I said, incredibly exciting to watch us deal with our issues. But if anybody's gotten any questions or anything they'd like me to address during the Aftershock, we can go through and do that. Stories that we didn't get to. We talked about stupid stuff not to do with your phone. Oh, yeah. How much memory does your Windows 10 PC need? Is there a case for having more than 16 gigs of RAM? Sure there is, but the bang for the buck trails off. Okay. Okay, they're talking about 1 gig of RAM, 2 gigs of RAM, 4 gig. Okay, we're going to not even mention those because that's stupid. So 4 gigs of RAM. if you're running a 32-bit operating system with 4 gigs of RAM, you only be able to access about 3.2 gig. Okay, blah, 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 blah. The difference in performance between a system with 2 gigs of RAM and one with 4 gigs of RAM is like night and day. No one's running 2 gigs of RAM anymore. Okay, so 4 gigs of RAM is a no-brainer. It's the cheapest and most basic of all Windows 10 systems come with 4 gigs of RAM. That's the Resolute, that's the Boundless, that's our entry-level computers. They come with 4 gigs of RAM. Because anything less than that is dumb, right? So 8 gigs of RAM is the next step up, goes from 4 to 8. Now we're into performance territory, which is why the Endeavor comes with 8 gigs of RAM. That's why the Gallant comes with 8 gigs of RAM. That's why all of our mid and higher range computers start at 8 gigs and go up from there. So if you're serious about your PC, then consider this to be the new default. If you're buying or building a machine to dedicate to photo or video editing or rendering, or you just want a faster computer, 8 gigs of RAM is the minimum you should consider to avoid frustration. This is the amount of RAM recommended by Adobe for their Creative Cloud applications. 8 gigs of RAM is not super expensive. 8 gigs of RAM is the minimum amount of RAM that new Macs will ship with. You need a 64-bit operating system to make use of more than 4 gigs of RAM, just FYI. So 16 gigs of RAM. So this is 16 gigs of RAM is the amount of memory that came in the holiday special 2 or 3 years ago. Is there a case for more than 8 gigs of RAM? All right, the time when more than 8 gigs of RAM becomes useful and starts paying for itself is when you're running a number of resource-heavy applications simultaneously, or especially image, video processing, things like that, CAD, 3D modeling. Try running Premiere Pro to edit video, Photoshop, any of those things. You're going to totally notice the increase to 16 gigs of RAM. Having more than 8 gigs comes in handy if you're going to do virtualization, things like that. Note you will still need a 64-bit operating system. So now here's the next question. If you go over 16 gig, is there a benefit? So last year's holiday special shipped with 32 gigs. So was that just like a marketing, woohoo, 32 gigs? Or was that just what's going to be common in 10 years, which is what I think. Now you're deep in the realm of heavy lifting. A workstation with more than 16 gigs of RAM will be a do-anything system. That's exactly what we intended to build. That sort of system will be able to run multiple resource-heavy applications or virtual machines at the same time. Remember that you need 64-bit. It'll support up to 2 terabytes of memory. We're not offering a computer with 2 terabytes of RAM yet. Oh, golly. Although the home version is limited to only 128 gigabytes. All right, so there you have it, guys. More RAM is better, duh. 16 gig is kind of, anything over 16 gig, the average user is not going to ever notice that that's there. But anything under 4 gig is stupid. And anything, if you're at 4 and you want to go to 8, that's a nice bump to get to. Excuse me. All right, I got an email that just came in. I'm going to check and see what that email is. Maybe it's my quick vote code or my link or whatever. All right. Okay, let's see. Download pictures. She sent me an emoji. That's great. All right, so your loyal supporters will never forget to try voting again. And smiley face. Okay. So yeah, she wasn't able to vote just yet, but yeah, people are going to try. So only person who voted for us so far is the person who voted for us last week before she knew about the contest or the special offer. Which, love you, Barb. That's awesome. Thank you. But yes, we'll get you in the drawing for a computer too. All right, last call for questions, guys. Last call. All right. Let's see. I voted for you last week and submitted it already. What do I need to get for the drawing? When you voted, Mike, you should have received an email from Best of Omaha with it's a certificate that's like a proof of voting certificate. It's a graphic, basically. It has your name on it. If you can find that, forward it to me. If not, just shoot me an email, Mike, and I'll take your word for it. Shoot me an email. Let me know you voted, and I'll put you in the folder for the drawing. We are going to be coming out with other ways you can enter to win. I didn't want to... it was too much today, so I didn't want to throw those on. So I was asking people to call in with like, hey, what else can we do, Thor? And maybe someone would say, yeah, you could review. If I review you on Yelp, will that be an extra entry? Why, yes, it will. And hey, if I review you on Facebook, is that an extra entry? Yes, it is. And if I review you on Google, is that an extra entry? You know, sure, why not? there's all kinds of things we're going to be able to do to get extra entries. So each week I'll probably introduce some extra entry thing for those of you who want to have another opportunity to win that free computer, aside from the initial voting in Best of Omaha. But the Best of Omaha voting is why we're giving it away this year. We're going to put some serious effort behind it to make sure that everybody gets a good motivation to go vote, as long as people get the email. All right, guys, got to wrap it up for the show today. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry that the AfterSchrock, there's no news this weekend. It's the holiday weekend. Everything was slow. I mean, here were my story choices to cover with you guys today. Let me go back to the beginning because I just have the articles open that I was going to talk about. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. The 10 best cheap smartphones for summer travel. In case you're going to buy a special phone to go on vacation. A journalist wrecked MacBook keyboard tells a terrible story. How to enable DNS over HTTPS in Firefox. All right. Invisible Shield Glass Plus 360 for Apple Watch protects the display and the edges of your smartwatch. Oh, let's see. AI's Minority Report for retail. They know you'll return even before you buy it. Microsoft is axing internal use rights for its products for its reseller partners. Ooh. Filling stadiums with serverless computing, baby. That's awesome. So yeah, that's what I had to work with today. So apologize if the stories weren't quite there, but I hope that the show was able to entertain anyway. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll talk to you here again next week, and we'll go over everything in the new week. I'm sure there'll be a ton of news next week, and we'll figure out this Best of Omaha thing, but I'll keep you posted in the meantime. Thank you for everybody who has provided me with information to take back to them, because that will be helpful. And I will also not be posting something separate on Facebook this afternoon, because why would I do that when nobody can go vote? Makes a lot of sense. But as soon as you see me post that, everything should be resolved. Thanks, guys, and have a great afternoon.